You feeling okay at the moment?
My body's in a lot of pain. My leg is like extremely swollen.
Well, I see that. We're gonna move you in the bed and bring you inside, and we're gonna see what's going on with you, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Dr. Now has seen it all, or at least that's what you'd think. But every now and then, something happens that even leaves him completely stunned. From unbelievable setbacks to jaw-dropping decisions, these are the my 600-pound life moments that actually shocked Dr. Now. This is JT's story. JT is afraid of how big he is getting. He knows that food is the major reason he is getting so big, but for some reason, he can't seem to stop eating, and he has no idea what he weighs at the moment. Every day of his life is pretty much the same, and it revolves around one thing: food. Can the doc save him, or is this the end of the line for him? Well, this is how JT's story begins.
I'm hungry again and I'm ready for my next meal. But some days I also have to get up and try to clean myself. I try to shower at least once a week, but getting out of bed is something I dread. And it's getting to the point where it's almost too hard to do it. Because I sink in so deep,
It's like trying to get out of cotton candy or pudding.
Wow, that has to be the biggest lymphedema I have ever seen. JT can't even walk properly. The worst part of his day is when he has to try to get clean. Due to how big he has gotten, JT tries to shower at least once a week. In most situations, he can't fit into the bathroom because his lymphedema makes it very difficult to move around. Honestly, I never knew lymphedema could be that big.
and by the time I'm done with my shower, I'm already wiped. And I have to sit and catch my breath before I try to put my clothes back on. But at my size, I don't have many outfit options. I have one pair of pants that fit me still because of how big my leg is, and just a couple of shirts that fit. But they're getting really worn down at this point.
Damn. JT has gotten so fat that he does not have so many cloth options anymore. He has one pair of pants that fits him and a couple of shirts that get into his body. His fear is that he might get to a stage where the only thing that's going to cover his body is a towel, and that's just going to be very embarrassing. Even with how bad things are, JT can't seem to give up the exact thing that has put him in this situation.
Because my appetite keeps growing, and I constantly need a supply of food so I can keep eating and keep that feeling I need going. And nothing in my life can compete with how food makes me feel. Not anything.
Well, that's been established. All JT cares about at this point is food. He even says that, but to him, eating all day is way better than sex. When he is awake, he is either eating or waiting to eat. When he goes to bed, the only thing he dreams about is food. Food is practically the only thing that gives him peace and joy. Wow, I think it's safe to say that JT is more than a food addict. Food basically controls his life.
I worry about JT a lot, about his condition and weight and everything, and how much he eats. Because since I've met JT, he has gained weight. I think when we first started dating, he could do more. Now I would say pretty much everything.
JT's girlfriend seems to be his enabler. It's not like she does it on purpose, though. When she initially met JT, things were not this bad. Over time, JT has grown so big that he can't do anything for himself anymore. Anytime she tries to talk to him about his eating habit or even tries to portion his food, JT gets mad at her, and she doesn't like when he is mad at her. In order to avoid that, she gives him whatever he wants to eat.
But my dad worked for a hot dog restaurant, and we could eat there for free. So we'd have dinner there a lot. And I think those are my favorite memories. And I never wanted that time to end because we were all together eating and happy. But for a lot of reasons, that all started to change as I got older. The biggest one being that I didn't realize that my parents started doing drugs. And as I got older, their habit got worse. They got into harder stuff.
Jeez, that must have been tough on JT while growing up. Once upon a time, JT's family was a very sweet one. All that changed when he found out that his parents were into drugs. It kept getting bad over the years, and there was nothing he could do about the situation. His parents started spending more on drugs and alcohol rather than taking care of him and his siblings, and that crushed him as a kid.
Go to school from 7 until 3. Have to go to work from about 3 p.m. to about 3 a.m. and then have to be back up at 7 a.m. for school.
And I made what we needed, but the stress of it all was hard. Do school and work like that, and I started to get really depressed, and that just made me want to eat more. And by the time I was 18 and graduated high school,
That had to have been very difficult on JT. You really can't blame him for putting food as his way of coping through everything. JT was forced to grow up because he was the first child, and his parents were now incapable of taking care of him and his siblings. Working to earn money and going to school brought so much pressure, and it made him feel depressed. In the end, his only way out was to eat through the entire situation.
I'm super grateful Jess is coming with me on the trip. There'd obviously be no way I can do this without her getting in the car and driving me. I just hope it goes well, but I have to make sure that I can even fit in the back of the vehicle.
Bring it through the side door.
Okay.
I'm glad I can fit, but it's still tight and I'm really uncomfortable.
If his body hits a breaking point during the trip, that's going to be very bad. JT has come to realize that things might take a different turn if he does not do something about his situation. He has decided to head down to Houston to meet up with Dr. Now and see if he has a chance at doing better with his health. One thing I can tell you is that this trip is not going to be an easy one for JT.
I know I'm over 600 pounds and probably over 700 too. I just hope my weight's not a lot higher than that.
$892.
Wow, that hit me like a bomb. He is almost 900 pounds. Dr. Now is going to be speechless when he sees those numbers. JT and his girlfriend had quite a trip. They made it to the hospital, and when JT hopped on the scale to check his weight, he could not believe his eyes. He weighs 892 pounds. Losing that level of weight is not going to be easy given the fact that JT loves food. Well, let's see what the doc has to say.
Should be able to easily lose 150 pounds over the next 2 months. Okay? And if you do that, then we'll consider you for weight loss surgery. But at your size and with your issues with your lymphedema, I'm concerned about you traveling back and forth. So you need to move down to Houston immediately if you want to do this. You got it?
Okay.
Things are about to get pretty intense for JT. Dr. Now was initially surprised that JT could walk given his weight and how big his lymphedema is. The doc gives him instructions and tells him that he needs JT to lose 150 pounds within 2 months before he can be considered for weight loss surgery. The doc is also worried about JT traveling back and forth, and so he tells JT that he needs to move down to Houston immediately, so coming to the hospital won't be so much of an issue for him.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out of the van, bud.
I'll shut it.
I'm praying that whatever is wrong with me isn't something really bad, and that it's too late, but I feel like I'm dying and I'm scared it is.
Well, that's not good. JT has not been able to lose any weight. Shortly after he got back from his appointment with the doc, JT got sick and his lymphedema started to hurt a lot. He feels so scared because he wants to make things better for himself, but he feels so much pain that is making him question if he still has a chance to make things right. He is at a local clinic to find out what the problem is with his leg.
So I feel good about that because that means I'm making progress, but I still have to be really careful not to push myself too much at once. Come on, come on, come on. No, come on. But me and Jessica are also changing our diets to Dr. Now's, and I'm working really hard to lose weight.
He isn't wrong. This is his only chance to get things right. Apparently he had food poisoning, and in no time he was back home. He has since then been working on his diet, and things seem to be going pretty well. He is also making plans to move down to Houston, just like the doc advised him to. Let's hope that his next appointment with Dr. Now will be a good one, and he will have lost a good amount of weight.
All right, we're gonna get some lab work on you, and we're gonna run the tests we need on you and go from there, okay?
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Julius doesn't look like he lost much weight since his last appointment. And even if all his tests are good and he doesn't have any life-threatening issues developing right now,
It seems like JT's situation has gone from bad to worse. On his way to his next appointment, his vehicle broke down and he had to send an ambulance to bring him to the hospital. His lymphedema has gotten so bad that there's a chance it could start to get infected. Dr. Now tells him that he needs to be serious with his weight loss because his life now depends on it.
Yep, thank you.
this past month Julius hasn't done as well in rehab as I'd hoped. His biggest problem is still his attitude. He doesn't like the food or having to do the rehab exercises he needs, so he hasn't been compliant with physical therapy a lot of days.
JT might be on his last straw with Dr. Now. JT's problem is his attitude towards the weight loss situation. He doesn't like the food that he is given in the rehabilitation center. He doesn't even agree to do the rehab exercises required for him to get better with his health and his mental state. What's worse is that he has been ordering junk food. One would honestly think he doesn't want to continue the weight loss program at this point. Is this the end of the line for him?
See that JT has made some good progress on his own, and is at least enough weight loss to show me he's moving in the positive direction. But I still need a little bit more of him, because he should have easily lost more than he did over the last 2 months. So I need to see a little more progress from him before I'm confident he's ready for weight loss surgery.
This is Bethany's story. Bethany knows that she is running out of time, and right now, all she wants to do is find a way to fix her problem. Bethany is 40 years old, and she weighs over 600 pounds. She feels like her life is falling apart due to how fat she has become. As long as she is awake, her body is in constant pain. Let's see if the doc is going to be able to save her. This is how her story begins.
But I can't just take it easy and do nothing all day, no matter the reason, because I'm a mom of 2 kids. Isabella's my oldest, she's 18, and my youngest is Zoe, who's 10. My husband tries to help out, but he has to work most days. Zoe, can you come here a minute? Can you help me put my socks on? A lot of times they end up having to help me, and I hate that because it makes me feel like a burden.
That's probably every mother's nightmare. Bethany feels bad because she hates that her children have to take care of her when it should be the other way around. Her husband tries to help out sometimes, but he also has to work, so he isn't around most of the time. But let's be honest, it's good that she is able to still move around and take care of her children when she can.
Isabella,
Yeah.
I want to have something to eat while you're making breakfast.
Okay. I think I have a lot of the responsibility for this household. I do all the cooking, I do all the cleaning, and I make sure Zoe's fed and bathed. I make sure that we have groceries in the house.
Looks like most of the responsibility of the house falls on Bethany's first daughter, Isabella, because Bethany can't do anything due to her size. She makes sure that her baby sister and her mother are well fed. She stocks up the house with groceries, and she also takes her little sister to school. Bethany feels bad that she has to put all the responsibilities of the house on her. Isabella is like a mom at this point.
It's the only time I ever go out, and I can't handle being in the store with all the walking, so I just stay in the car. And even that's hard on my body. But what's gonna be even harder on it is if I don't have the food and snacks that I want. So no matter what, I'm making sure we're getting those things. And even though it takes a lot out of me, it's exciting for me.
You could honestly feel sorry for Isabella. She hates that her mother can't do so many things at home because of how big she has gotten. What's worse is that whenever Isabella tries not to give her mother the food she wants, her mom gets angry and starts to become very hateful. Isabella feels bad because she knows she's enabling her mother, but there's pretty much nothing she can do about it.
Didn't really have anybody to stop me from eating sweets and junk food. If I wanted them, I ate whatever I wanted. So I started to put on a little weight around then, but my weight gain still wasn't out of control. But things got really bad when I was 12. That's when food became this thing in life like it is now.
Oh my goodness, that must have felt so horrible. Bethany's mother was never really in her life. She lived most of her childhood with her grandmother. Her food addiction started when she found out that her mother tried to take her life. Her mother wrote in a note that Bethany was the reason she tried to take her life. When Bethany heard that, it shattered her world. And at that time, food was the only thing she could use to numb the pain.
It's the only time in my life that my weight gain tapered off. I didn't lose much, but I didn't gain a whole lot for those 6 years. But when I was 27, we decided to try and have another child. And I had Zoe when I was 28. And the weight gain picked back up during that pregnancy. And then once I had Zoe, I suffered from severe postpartum depression.
And the list of horrible traumas just keeps piling up. After dropping out of school and having her first child, Bethany got a counseling job, and things started to go pretty okay. But she and her husband had a second child, and that just shut down her world. She suffered from postpartum depression, and as you would expect, the only way to deal with that was food. It was so bad that she didn't bond with her child until she was 2 years old.
I'm really scared, but we're gonna do it. And it's gonna be good. Food is gonna kill me if I don't do something, so I have to hope this is gonna work and that there's a chance, because I'm not ready to just give up and accept that fate for my family. But this is one of the hardest and scariest things I've ever done in my life. It's worth it to me to get there and make a change than to stay here and just deteriorate.
Phew, I'm just glad that Bethany is finally ready to move in the right path. Bethany has dealt with her trauma and weight for so long, and she is ready to let it go. She is about to head down to Houston with her husband and see if Dr. Now can help her with her condition. It's not going to be an easy drive, but at least she is ready to make it work.
I'm at Dr. Now for my first appointment, and I really don't want to find out what I weigh now. I just hope it's not a shocking number that's a lot higher than I thought it'd be. I kind of knew I was probably in the 600s, but it's still hard to see.
Those numbers gave her a big scare. From her facial expression, you can tell that she has not gotten over the shock that she weighs over 600 pounds. She hates the fact that her husband and her daughter got to see how much she really weighs. Like she said, it's very real right now, and there's no turning back. Let's see what the doc has to say about her weight and if he can help her at all.
And also, I want to pay attention for the type of food you're eating.
Okay.
And there is lots of food in there that you need to avoid.
Okay.
If you follow this diet like you need, you should be easily able to lose 60 pounds over the next 2 months. How much you can walk before you get short of breath?
I mean,
It's easier said than done, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Bethany tells the doc that she eats a lot because of her anxiety. She's always anxious, and her solution to solving that is eating. As you would expect, the doc tells her that's not a good solution. He then says that he is going to put her on a diet and he wants her to lose 60 pounds within the next 2 months. She says she can do it. Let's see her do it.
different meals and different options to see what I can find that I like. But so far, most of it's pretty bland. But what I've enjoyed most about these meals is spending time with Zoe because she's been my little helper in the kitchen. Do you have a good day at school today?
Mm-hmm.
What are you learning about?
Learning the science method.
The scientific method?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually not a bad way to start living healthy. Bethany is doing most of the work in the house now because she doesn't want to force her daughter to do it since she has school to focus on. Bethany has also been able to spend quality time with her other daughter. They cook together in the kitchen and they seem to be bonding pretty well. So far, Bethany's doing pretty well with her diet. Hopefully that's enough to meet the target the doc wants her to meet.
Me and Sheldon are back at Dr. Now's for my follow-up appointment and to hopefully show him that I'm ready for weight loss surgery. At my last appointment, I was 608 pounds and I had to lose 60 over the last 2 months to get down below 548 for my goal. So I'm just really hoping that I made it under that and got to where I'm supposed to be.
Honestly, I feel her pain. Bethany has put so much effort into losing weight. She cooks her own meals now. She sticks to the diet, and she has pretty much cut down how much food she takes in. It's disheartening that she was only able to lose just 14 pounds. Now she feels sad and overwhelmed that the doc might tell her that he won't be able to help her.
I know I've stayed within the 1,200 calories, but maybe the protein bars I had carbs or something in it.
Those are, those are commercially things. They don't label them correctly.
Okay.
And you get misled with them. So it's not under 1,200 calories, no matter what you think. You got that?
Yeah.
I guess she now has a second chance to meet her weight loss goal. Dr. Now did not go easy on her, and she got quite a scolding. She tried explaining to the doc that she hadn't faulted from the diet he put her on. If they were true, she should have lost enough weight. Now she has another 2 months to lose pounds. Meeting that goal is the only way Dr. Now is going to approve her for weight loss surgery. Let's see if she can lose that before her next appointment.
And after surgery, you're gonna need to stay in Houston for at least a month before you go back home. So I can keep an eye on you until you fully recover. Okay?
Okay.
Great. So, any question regarding surgery?
Which kind of surgery will I have?
I think this gastrectomy is going to be a best operation for you.
Okay.
But it's not going to solve all your problem and fix your drive to eat.
This is Tammy's story. Very soon, Tammy might not have the ability to get out of bed if she keeps eating the way she does. All she does is eat, and at the age of 41, she has no idea what her weight could be. Either she starts to work on her, or she might just lose her life. This is how she starts her journey.
Every day something new hurts, and I just feel like I'm trapped in this body. Living like this is torment, and I hate it because I've let things get to the point where my daughters have to live with me to take care of me.
Wow, Tammy feels really bad about her condition because she is practically unable to do anything for herself. She stays with her daughters, and they are the ones who help her with every single thing she needs to do or wants to do.
I'm embarrassed I've let things get to this point where I constantly have to have someone looking after me. And even my mom had to move in recently too, to help out too, since I have trouble doing anything by myself.
If we're being honest, Tammy's daughter loves her mom a lot. She says that she understands the fact that she enables her mother and doesn't allow her to do anything. But that's just because she loves her mom and does not want to see her in any pain or discomfort.
I think when you become accustomed to eating so much, you don't know how to stop.
But I'm the one portioning her food. And in the past, I have enabled her. It became a pattern for me. If she wanted it, I would get it. No wasn't in my vocabulary. I always tried to give them what they wanted when I could.
Looks like the guilt is going around everyone in the family. Tammy's mother also explains that she has never been able to tell her daughter no. Whenever Tammy wanted something or wanted to eat anything, she wouldn't hesitate to prepare it for her. The funny thing is, her mom eats the way Tammy does.
My brother and my mom. But you know, as a kid, it was very hard. I didn't know anyone. All of our family was back in California. I didn't have any friends, so food became all I had for a while.
In a way, I think we can blame Tammy's mom for how she turned out. Apparently, when she was much younger, there were no restrictions on food. But then again, Tammy's mother was just being the best mom she could be by giving her daughter anything she wanted.
It was a very happy time in my life. And when I was with them was when I had my 3 children. First, my oldest, Deontay. Then a year after that, I had my daughter, Serenity. And then 2 years after that, I had my youngest, Alizé.
That's actually so cute. Tammy says that even with her weight, she met a man who loved her and never made her feel like her weight was a problem. It's always good to have a supportive partner to do life with you.
I'll never forget the moment I found out what had happened. He was murdered. He had a jealous girlfriend. She thought if he would come and see his children, he was with me, and she stabbed him with a knife twice in the heart. And when I heard that,
damn. You can tell that her heart was broken into a million pieces. Tammy's relationship with her partner went on for 5 years, but they eventually split. They still loved each other, of course. But what broke her was when she found out that his jealous girlfriend had stabbed him with a knife. She just couldn't handle the news.
I have to change. If I don't do something different, I could very well die, because my body parts could give out at any moment. My heart could stop, my lungs could stop, even my knees could give out and I fall, hit my head.
Man, am I glad to hear that. Tammy has come to terms with the fact that if she doesn't do something about her current weight and eating habit, she might not be around to play the role of a grandmother for her grandkids. And that is going to be devastating.
So I'll have their help to do this and make it there, which is very important. Because my mom and my daughter are definitely my support system. I have a family that's behind me.
Wait, let me step down.
And that's the only reason I feel confident I'm going to be able to do this.
It's really good to see that Tammy's mother wants to learn how to be better for her daughter. They are all packed and ready to hit the road and meet up with Dr. Now. Let's hope she doesn't weigh something out of the ordinary.
I just hope my starting point is reasonable and I'm where I think I am, because I've known I'm around 600. I fluctuate, some above, some below that. But at the same time, I also know. It's been a while since I weighed myself, so I'm worried that the number is higher than I think it is in my head. But I'm hoping it's not.
Well, she is right about that. Tammy is in the hospital with her mom, and her weight is just slightly below 600 pounds. In a way, that's kind of a relief, because she thought that she would weigh over 600 pounds. Oh well, let's see what Dr. Now thinks about that.
So this is a life changer that you have to do to change your life to be able to live longer. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do that, okay?
Yes.
So if something happened to you in the state your body is in, like a cold or you fall, that's going to be first domino, push everything. You're not going to survive through it, okay? So this is very important for you. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Ha ha ha. I can't believe the last time she was under 150 pounds was when she was in junior high. Well, the doc tells her that if she values her life, she needs to take control of what goes into her body, and that means stopping all the junk food she's been eating. Of course, the doc doesn't hide the fact that it's not going to be easy.
It's more encouragement to keep pushing myself every day and to not slow down. Even with how hard it is, I intend to succeed at this, and that's what I am working toward every day.
For someone who almost never gets out of the house, Tammy is making some serious progress. It's been 2 months now, and the doc wanted her to meet a certain target. She feels like she has and is ready to go for her next appointment. Is this her green card for surgery?
No, it is a full time. But are you still sticking to your diet and doing the exercises?
No, not completely.
So have you lost any more weight?
I haven't lost any more, but I haven't gained either.
Well, I'm glad you're not gaining, but you need to keep losing because you still have a lot of strain in your body that you need to reduce. And that's only going to happen if you lose a lot more weight.